Base model, rear-drive EVs from Tesla and Hyundai aim to prove that you get more from your electric car when you spend less money, more power, more speed, more range, more space. We're conditioned to always want more. But when it comes to EVs, what if less actually means more? Fewer motors for more efficiency, less battery capacity for more weight savings, fewer parts for lower cost. We thought we'd put that theory to the test with two of the most highly anticipated rear-wheel drive electric sedans on the market, the new 2024 Tesla Model 3 Highland Standard Range and the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 SE Long Range. Do you really get more car by opting for less? In case you missed it, we recently compared the fully loaded all-wheel drive variants of these two models, the 2024 Tesla Model 3 Highland Long Range and 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 Limited Long Range RWD. Many of our impressions of those vehicles, including infotainment, comfort, styling, and build quality, as well as a list of what's new for 2024, ultimately carry over here. Where there are notable differences, we'll call them out. Tale of the tape. The biggest call-out, of course, is that both the Model 3 Highland Standard Range and Ioniq 6 SE Long Range are powered by a single electric motor mounted at the rear. They're also the most affordable ways to get into a new road trip-ready Tesla or Hyundai EV. The 2024 Model 3 Standard Range is, for now at least, the cheaper of the two, starting at approximately $39,000. Pricing will be confirmed closer to the Highland's U.S. launch in early 2024. Our loaded example stickered for roughly $54,630, with the bulk of that price gap being Tesla's enhanced autopilot system and the skippable full self-driving suite. EPA range results are pending, but we expect the new Highland Model 3 Standard Range to clear about 261 miles to a charge. Surprisingly, for a manufacturer that typically forgoes meaningful options in favor of a variety of relatively standardized trims, you have more choice with the Ioniq 6 SE, the base model of the Ioniq 6 lineup. The Ioniq 6 SE Standard Range starts at $38,615 and includes a rear-mounted permanent magnet motor, good for 149 HP and 258 lb-ft of torque, paired with a 53.0 kWh lithium-ion battery pack, net an EPA-rated 240 miles of range. An identically equipped 2024 Ioniq 6 SE Standard Range would sticker for $43,775. Which car is quicker? Does it matter? The bulk of the mechanical changes to the Highland Model 3 Standard Range consist of revised suspension and steering tuning in an effort to make the car more comfortable while retaining its fun-to-drive character. On the road, those changes have been incredibly successful. At 5.6 seconds from 0 to 60 mph and 14.1 seconds through the quarter mile at 102.0 mph, the Model 3 Standard Range isn't fast by modern standards, but it's certainly quick enough. The single rear motor is torquey and responsive, with the throttle tuned aggressively to help the car leap eagerly forward off the line. Passing power is more than adequate, though we noticed a natural drop in power delivery at faster freeway speeds. The biggest difference is in how the new Model 3 Highland rides. The pre-refresh model tended to crash over bumps, with harsher impacts being transferred into the cabin, but the Standard Range Highland is much better balanced than before. We do, however, wish there was a way to adjust the car's traction control, as it's quick to yank power away from the driver when you start feeding in throttle with any sort of steering angle. Too bad. The Ioniq 6 SE Long Range, on the other hand, is a surprisingly fun-to-drive and, well, loose car compared to both the Tesla and Hyundai's own all-wheel drive counterpart. Driven enthusiastically, the Ioniq 6's low-effort helm weights up nicely, while the comparatively relaxed traction control coupled with the punchy motor gives you a little bit of slip from the rear end, helping get the nose pointed quicker. Although its skid pad and figure-8 results lagged behind those of the Model 3, we suspect a better set of tires would go a long way toward closing that gap. When driven normally, the Ioniq 6 is a comfortable cruiser with a cushy, compliant ride. The Hyundai doesn't feel as quick as the Tesla, because at 6.0 seconds to 60 mph and 14.6 seconds for the quarter mile, at 97.2 mph, it isn't, but it's more than adequate for most drivers, delivering good off-the-line acceleration and decent passing power. We like the Ioniq 6's 5 levels of regenerative brake adjustability, though the Tesla's default one-pedal setup felt more natural to us than any of the Hyundai's settings. Which EV goes farther on a charge? Long-distance range is one of the most pressing concerns for prospective EV owners, so to help inform and educate the public, we developed the Motor Trend Road Trip Range Test. Our range number reflects real-world driving distance, using 95% of the battery capacity at a constant 70 mph and with climate control set to 72 degrees and the headlights, cruise control, and audio system on. The test is performed on an out-and-back route to minimize the effects of terrain and wind. We supplement our range number with a fast-charging test that reveals how many miles of 70 mph driving you'll regain after 15, 30, 45, and 60 minutes plugged into a fast charger in ideal scenarios. Which rear-drive electric sedan is best? We came to an interesting, to us at least, conclusion after wrapping up both our all-wheel drive electric sedan comparison test and this one. As far as the dual-motor sedans are concerned, we liked the Tesla most. It was fun to drive, luxurious, a good value, more efficient, and backed by Tesla's supercharger network. The Ioniq 6 Limited wasn't quite as fun to drive and had unimpressive real-world range and efficiency. That dynamic is flipped on its head as far as these single-motor sedans are concerned. We really like the new 2024 Model 3 Highland Standard range. It's handsome, it finally features an interior befitting of its price, and it's pretty good to drive. Yet its real-world road trip range of barely over 200 miles on a full charge, and its unimpressive charge speed and curve feel glacial in comparison to the more modern Hyundai. Perhaps the dynamic might be altered if Tesla were to offer the Model 3 Long Range's 84.6 kWh battery pack in single-motor form, but it doesn't, so it isn't. Instead, we're inclined to take our chances on the CCS highway with the Ioniq 6 SE Long Range. Its 291 miles of real-world range and a 19-minute charge time is damn near parity with a comparable gas car. And besides, we can't remember the last time we drove a car this efficient, at this price point, that was this nice to drive. The rear-drive Ioniq 6 is well-balanced and engaging when you want to be yet comfortable and relaxing when the situation calls for it. While we still wish the interior were furnished as nicely as the Tesla, in this case, the Ioniq 6 proves that sometimes less really is more.